Hello, I'm Denise Olasala, and this is my sister,
Rosie Olasala.
We're the Olasala Sisters. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Lit Bible Study with the Olasala Sisters. So we are reading the Bible. We are using the New International Version. We're going to be in the New Testament, reading Luke chapter 1, verses 5 through 25. So the Bible has an Old Testament in the beginning and then a New Testament that comes later. We're in the New Testament, the later part, and that goes from the book of Matthew to the book of Revelation. But we're in the book of Luke. All right, here we go. So this is under the heading, The Birth of John the Baptist Foretold. In the time of Herod, king of Judea, there was a priest named Zechariah, who belonged to the priestly division of Abijah. His wife Elizabeth was also a descendant of Aaron. Both of them were upright in the sight of God, observing all the Lord's commandments and regulations blamelessly. But they had no children, because Elizabeth was barren, and they were both well along in years. Once when Zechariah's division was on duty, and he was serving as priest before God, he was chosen by lot, according to the custom of the priesthood, to go into the temple of the Lord and burn incense. And when the time for the burning of incense came, all the assembled worshippers were praying outside. Then an angel of the Lord appeared to him, standing at the right side of the altar of incense. When Zechariah saw him, he was startled and was gripped with fear. But the angel said to him, "Do not be afraid, Zechariah. Your prayer has been heard. Your wife Elizabeth will bear you a son, and you are to give him the name John. He will be a joy and delight to you, and many will rejoice because of his birth. For he will be great in the sight of the Lord. He is never to take wine or other fermented drink, and he will be filled with the Holy Spirit even from birth. Many of the people of Israel will he bring back to the Lord their God. And he will go on before the Lord in the spirit and the power of Elijah, to turn the hearts of the fathers to their children, and the disobedient to the wisdom of the righteous, to make ready a people prepared for the Lord." Zechariah asked the angel, "How can I be sure of this? I am an old man, and my wife is well along in years." The angel answered, "I am Gabriel. I stand in the presence of God, and I have been sent to speak to you and to tell you this good news. And now you will be silent and not able to speak until the day this happens, because you did not believe my words, which will come true at their proper time." Meanwhile, the people were waiting for Zechariah and wondering why he stayed so long at the temple. When he came out, he could not speak to them. They realized he had seen a vision in the temple, for he kept making signs to them, but remained unable to speak. When his time of service was completed, he returned home. After this, his wife Elizabeth became pregnant, and for 5 months remained in seclusion. "The Lord has done this for me," she said. "In these days he has shown his favor and taken away my disgrace among the people." Okay. That's a lot. So first off, let me tell you that I just read this a couple months ago, and it freaked me out.
Oh,
It
why?
really freaked me out.
Why?
Because mind you, so I always read, I get up to go to the bathroom like in the middle of the night, one time like each night, right? And then so what I do is I'll take my Bible, like legit this Bible, and I'll just read something, whatever, something quick. Sometimes if I get in the story, I'll read more. But so I read that, and then what happened, it'll be like 3 a.m. or something, then I go back to sleep. So this time, I slept with my light on. I didn't like it. I'm not even joking. This whole thing of Gabriel just being there, the angel, okay, and then he's not just like a like sweet, nice, cutesy angel. He's like, "And then you didn't believe me? I'm taking away your voice." What? No, don't just be. I don't know. I just got like I didn't like it. I know the angels are supposed to be fine, but it freaked me out. I did not like it. Like, no, thank you. No, thank you. So, okay, what was your interaction with this story?
Okay, so let's just, go back to the beginning of it.
Yes.
So Zechariah, is that how you say his name? Zechariah.
I don't know.
We'll go Zechariah.
Zechariah.
So he's basically a priest, essentially.
He's a priest.
And then he's in a group of certain priests over here. So there must be like a couple of groups of priests, and then we all take turns. And so this time in our group of Zechariah's group of priests, he was chosen to go into, where was it? Into the temple. I'm going to call it the temple, I believe, and put out the incense. Okay. So he's going to be, so obviously it's like an amazing job. So he's already a priest. He has faith in God. Mm-hmm. He believes in God more than, me over here, farmer. So he does this every...
Whoa. What the heck?
As in,
what the heck are you talking about, farmer?
Priestly duties every day for God. So, like, if somebody should have the most faith is this person who works of God every day.
Okay.
I'm not putting down farmers. Farmers don't come for me. It
really sounded like you were putting down farmers.
Don't come for me.
What farmers do you know?
All the
These
farmers.
Unrighteous farmers that you know.
I just meant.
Faithless farmers.
If there was levels, farmers were, they're here, regular. And then priest
with
person,
the rest of the people, right?
Yes.
Okay, weirdo.
I just feel like farmers are here with the rest.
Farmers, leave the farmers alone. Oh my
Regular people are here. But I feel like if you're a priest, your faithfulness, your godliness should be here. Just a little bit higher.
I understand the concept you're trying to make.
That means she doesn't agree with anything I just said. Okay, so let's move on.
Yeah.
So then, wait, as in what I said you agree with?
We had a whole vegetable garden in the back, and me and the cats, only myself and the cats, specifically Socks, myself and Socks would go out and tend to the garden, the vegetable garden. We had tomatoes, we had zucchini.
Oh, no.
And now you want to talk about farmers. So if there was, I guess, a farmer in this house, in this conversation, it would be me. And I just feel like you don't need to bring farmers into anything.
I feel like you have a problem with me.
No,
I wasn't talking about you, the farmer. Because people have a vegetable garden and automatically they're farmers. I mean, I would call you more gardener, but...
Wow. Go ahead
several years ago when you were that farmer. Wow. Like, you didn't do it this year or last year.
Yeah, but you still ate all the squash that came in. Anyways, back to the Bible.
Okay, there was
back
so much
to
squash.
The Bible.
Okay, so back to my point.
Yeah.
So, let me not talk about
So you're saying Zechariah is a priest.
Yes.
He should have, he's faithful, he's has favor with God, he does all this stuff blamelessly.
Yes.
So he's a believer.
Yeah. He should, he should be, so when he goes in there and he's doing his incest, it's like, oh yes, I was chosen. Da, 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 da. And he's doing, so to me, I'm picturing like candles. I don't know, incest, what it looks like. So he's lighting.
With the stick.
With the stick, smokes. He's lighting it. Okay, cool. Then Gabriel pops up because, nobody else is supposed to be in here. It's just supposed to be me, Zechariah. Mm-hmm. And then Gabriel pops up. And then if you've noticed something, every time an angel pops up, they love to tell you, don't be afraid.
Like, obviously, something must be scary.
Dude, it doesn't even matter. You popped into this room where nobody was. Of course I'm going to be scared. What do they look like that scares everybody?
But if somebody just popped up, even if I knew them, it would be weird.
You popped up.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
And then telling me, like, don't be afraid. Okay, but that's just my thing about what I don't want to know what they look like, because that right there is scary. Because consistently, don't be scared. What?
But I think it's because the angels have never, like, they're angels. They're with God. They're like timeless, and I don't think there's a situation, at least from what I've read, where they've been like afraid or like they've been surprised. It sort of seems like they always know what's going on, and they have, power as well. So I think maybe it just doesn't make sense when they show up to people and the people's reaction is like, and the angel's like, what? Don't be afraid. It's all good. Okay, continue. What were your other thoughts?
Okay, so then now, so Gabriel pops up, don't be afraid, and then tells him of this wonderful news. God has heard your prayer. So that takes me back to this. How long has he been praying for a child? Because I feel like he must have been praying. They didn't say this. I feel like he must have been praying from the time he got married, probably when he was young.
Yeah.
Because I'm picturing that he got married young, let's say 20. I don't know. I'm just throwing numbers out here. It's nothing I read.
Right.
And then from that 20 to however old he is right now, because he says he's very old. And then this was during the time where these Bible people would live for like hundreds of years. So I don't know how old he is. So in my head, I picture like he's 90. I just go to 90. And then, so was he still praying for that kid till now?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so okay. So then now that brings me to my next point. So he's been praying for that kid till now. Gabriel pops up. Don't be afraid. Your prayers have been answered. Your wife is going to have a kid.
Hello.
Now, this person who's a priest, who's doing the incest inside, because you're so, good, godly, and you've been praying for this one thing, Gabriel, the angel, pops up to tell you your prayers have been answered. And then, but how can that be? I'm old, and she's really old.
I know. I felt that burn in my heart when he said
Dude, focus on yourself. You old.
I'm an old man.
And
my wife is well along in years.
Come on.
Don't talk about your wife like
First
that.
of all, why did he get to be an old man, but she is well along? Okay, he was like, I'm 60, but she's really 90. Anyway. So then right there, he just had doubt. And it's this amazing thing that he's been praying for. And then it's coming and you're like, but how can it be possible? And then right away, Gabriel was like, and because you had doubt, you won't be able to talk until it happens. So at least he gave you back your voice after it happens.
But it's harsh.
It really is.
Harsh.
Like, I feel like we would all have our moment of like, but thinking out trying to figure out the logistics. Like, no, it didn't happen when we were younger. And now I'm 90. He's 102, throwing out numbers, and it's going to happen. But, I feel like he just had a moment.
It was a moment, Gabriel.
Yeah.
Let him have a moment. My goodness. Gabriel doesn't play. See, I feel like I would have said.
You as who?
As Gabriel. I would have said, so, I'm like, all your prayers are being answered. That one beautiful prayer that you have prayed.
Which one?
And now you're messing up. Okay, maybe I am Gabriel.
Because, I pray a lot of things.
Okay, so then...
There's the main one I pray about. Okay, then there's, my other prayers.
I'm telling you, okay, yeah, you're pregnant. Your wife is pregnant.
I'm the man.
Your wife is pregnant. And now I understand why Gabriel was done with everybody.
No.
Because people want to say things while you're just trying to bless them.
I'm sorry. Go on with your blessing, Gabriel.
So, okay, your wife, go home. Your wife is going to be pregnant. Okay, and then you say, you question it the same way.
But, I'm old and, she's really old. How's this going to work?
That's not your business. Just mind your business and take the blessing.
Thank you.
Okay, and you're going to name him this, and that's what I came to say. Goodbye.
Thank you.
I feel like I would have just kept it moving. I might have been annoyed. Like, oh gosh. But I would have said, mind your business, it's fine. And left. Gabriel was handing out punishments. Taking away whole voices.
Well. Did you want this non-believing self walking around? Well, Gabriel talked to me, and then if it happens, do you need him walking around saying stuff like that?
I didn't. It freaked me out. I don't like it. It's crazy.
So I feel that because he was a priest, he was held to a higher standard by Gabriel.
So just don't be a priest is what it means.
I told you that. Remember I gave you the levels and you didn't care for the levels? Gabriel was about those levels. He was at a higher... We had a higher expectation for you when an angel pops up in your face. So the higher expectation was that you would believe said angel. Mm-hmm. Now, had he been a farmer...
Get away from the farmers! Why are you stuck stuck on the farm. You're obsessed.
Okay. Had he been a shepherd.
Had he been a non-priest.
Yes. I feel the expectation, like the patience of Gabriel might have been a little bit more.
I don't think so. I think Gabriel through and through. I don't know.
Well, then at least he stays consistent.
Gabriel maybe he would have taken your sight and your voice if you were somebody else, but because this one was so good, he only took his voice.
Well, them's the rules.
It's freaky.
So then the other thing I thought about when I was reading this is oh no, that he was punished. Whew, when you can't read your handwriting. Okay. So now shifting this to Elizabeth, his wife, she makes that comment that now she will have value because she will no longer be barren. She will have a child. Yeah. So that like hurts my heart. Yeah. Because all these years she's lived there and she just felt ashamed because her one purpose in life is to reproduce, and she couldn't. So then she had no value in her village and her town, whatever they're calling it, because she couldn't have kids. And then, so now even thinking about today, in today's society where we are right now, that stigma of being a woman, me, myself, and not having children, we're still valued for our purpose of having children. And it's like, it's okay to not have I have I have another purpose in mind. Yes, wonderful, the women whose purpose is to have children. But for me, myself, I have this other road I'm going onto. So, but if somebody just looks at you and they're like, oh, you don't have children and you're at this age? Like, I feel I would be looked at like the way Elizabeth was looked at. But not as stigmatized as it was for her. But it's still there, And this is hundreds of years later. And we're still here where a woman's value is in her having children.
Yeah, I didn't like that either. She says, in these days, he has shown his favor, talking about God, and taken away my disgrace among the people. Yeah. It's a disgrace. Like, it was just talking about how they observe all the Lord's commandments and regulations blamelessly. They're upright with the Lord. Mm-hmm. And now somehow that it equates to disgrace. The people have their minds messed up, like somebody who's right with God. What if they're good enough for God? No, how can they not be good enough for you? Like, relax, people. Yeah. I don't feel that shame. I'm in my early 30s. We're both in our 30s. I don't feel shame of not having children. I don't feel like judged though, but I don't really talk to people about it. I'm not in situations where somebody would be like, do you have kids? And then I'd say no, and then they'd look like or then I guess in regular life they'd be like, oh, are you married? Like, do you have children? That sort of thing. But I don't know. I'm not in situations where I would discuss that with somebody to hear their views on it. But I get as like a greater point in society, yes, that is a thing where women not having children can certainly be like looked at negatively. But I don't know. I definitely have friends who are, same age as me who are, that's important to them and they don't have children and it hurts their heart. And they want children, but they haven't found the right guy yet or a guy yet. And they don't have kids and it really kills them. But I don't know. That's not like a thing that I'm worried about.
So for me, yes, I've been in many, many, many situations where friends, coworkers will say things like, well, you're getting up there.
Oh my goodness.
Gonna lose your last egg. You really need to have a baby.
Not your last egg.
Oh, yes. Yes, they always talk about my last egg.
Your last egg.
My last egg, you probably only have 2 left. You need to use it before that last egg is gone.
Not the last one.
Then they'll be like, things like that. Or like, when are you going to have a child? Because you don't want to be too old. So like when the kid is in high school, now I'm like 107. So they'll say things like that, like have it sooner so that you can be like able to move when the kid is older. And then I'm just looking at these people. I'm like I said, children are not for me, but kids are great. I'm glad you have children. They're wonderful. You love them. Okay, great. But I'm on a different path. Mm-hmm. But they just, so they'll hear me say that and they won't accept it. And they'll say things like, yeah, but when you find the right man, then you'll change your mind and you'll want children.
I found him. His name is Jesus Christ.
Hello.
I still don't want kids.
Thank you.
That should be your answer.
And it's okay, but they won't just accept me for my word as a person who's been in my body all these 30 plus years, that I mean what I said and I said what I said.
Yeah.
And it's okay for me to have that. And it's okay for you to have children and more children. I'm okay with that. I'm not coming for you. Well, let me look at your income. Mm-mm. Why do you have a child? You know children are expensive. Mm-mm. I don't do that. I'm just like, wow, you have beautiful children when you show me the pictures. You have beautiful children. And then they'll turn around. What about you? Do you have children? No. And then I just want to continue. Well, you should really get on it. They're a blessing. You really should, pop a few out. I'm like,
yeah,
I don't even want to have this conversation. So I'm saying that it's still here.
Yes.
But it's not as horribly like the way Elizabeth would have felt it. Like, Elizabeth, she's probably just walking.
My disgrace.
Yes. So I don't feel like it's a disgrace now in America where we live.
Right.
I don't know about other countries, but here
or even other parts of the state, other parts of the country, other communities.
Yeah. So here, me.
Yeah, yourself.
Bring
it back to yourself.
Me, personally, I don't feel like it's a disgrace. It just feels like, so a lot of times people will say that,
they
you
can
should
sort of judge or make their annoying comments.
Yes, or like, oh, maybe it's because you can't. That's why you don't. And then I'm like, no, I'm fully capable. I just don't want to, and it's okay. And then like, they just can't accept that. Right. So I always have to okay, we're gonna focus on. What about that show you watched yesterday? So we can we not?
You're right.
So I really felt it for Elizabeth.
Yeah.
It was just like, it's not cool. We shouldn't just be valued for that.
Yes.
I'm an amazing person besides the fact that I can reproduce.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyway, those are my thoughts.
Overall, though, what about being told that John, when John shouldn't drink, he's going to be filled with the Holy Spirit even from birth? At least they sort of got the heads up, like, your kid's going to be awesome.
First of all, that's always my thought of like, if I had a child and, I'm loving it, it's growing, and you don't know how your child will turn out. Mm-hmm. Like, this could be the next amazing kid, does whatever. Could be just a regular kid, doesn't matter, love my baby. But they could also be like horrible serial killer, And it's like, so I love that Gabriel told him, this is what your child is going to do.
Yeah.
So you already have a concept that your child is going to do amazing things and be so important.
Yeah.
So I like that.
I do too. But then also, since we know later on, a little spoiler alert, but it happened like a long time ago, so it's not really a spoiler alert.
She's spoiling it. If you haven't read it, she's spoiling it for you.
Eventually he gets martyred and killed. But he did do so much for the movement. He meets Jesus, like a lot happens. But so they were told of like the good part. And yes, even in his death, it was, he was still good and everything. But yeah, I left that big part out, Gabriel.
But I mean, would you want to know? Gabriel's there about Denise, you're going to have a son. His name's going to be John. He's going to do so many wonderful things. Mm-hmm. Anything you'd want to know about him?
Gabriel's asking me?
Yep, me, Gabriel. Do you want to know anything else about him?
Yeah, Gabriel, whatever you want to tell me.
Yeah, I already told you what I want to tell you.
Okay, yeah. So, okay, then that's what I'll take them.
Okay. All right, well.
But in general, I want to know. I would rather know things, but that's tough. So I'm never going to be in a situation where I'll say, no, I don't want to know, because I think it's always better to have the information. So if Gabriel was offering it out to me, like, oh yeah, and then this, like, he's going to live a great life. He's going to, like, really do a lot for the people. He's going to be the front runner for Jesus Christ, who's really going to be a big deal too. You don't even know about Jesus.
He's going to be the hype man.
Hello.
The hype man is very important.
So I would want to know all of that. And then if he said, but then eventually, it will lead to him losing his life, yeah, I guess I'd still want to know. I'd always want the information. I wouldn't like seek it out and be like, Gabriel, tell me how my kid dies. But if he told me, I'd want to know. I always say, yes, knowledge is power. But yeah, so overall, you didn't find it scary or anything?
No.
Like, oh,
just, when an angel pops up, give me some warning. Could you drop something over there so I focus the scaredness on that thing over there falling?
yikes.
And then now I turn around and you're like, nah. Oh, hey. I was just trying to pick my nose, and if somebody appeared in this room, could you give me warning?
I don't know why it really freaked me out so much, but I just envisioned Gabriel there, like looking at you, so serious too. Gabriel is not like joking around, doesn't take anything lightly. Like,
I feel like he's tall.
Oh,
like,
I don't even want to think
about
about it. Never mind. It's too much.
Mm-mm. And then like I feel like he'll have like a godly presence that's like it's a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. See, because like when they talk about Jesus, like I feel like it's like just warmth in his presence, right? He can say a lot of sassy things in the rest of the New Testament that we get to in other episodes, but warmth is what I get from him. Sometimes the angels, it's like a cool air is what I get from them. like a regal quality. Overall good, but cool. Oh, it might the temperature might go down a couple, Fahrenheit in the room. But yeah, that's weird. That I guess that's my reaction. I thought like
it's not weird. That's your reaction, and
it
it's
is my
okay.
reaction. But I just sort of thought like, oh, maybe other people felt like that, and you did not have that reaction. So that's something. You thought Gabriel was alright.
I mean,
overwhelmingly, I think he's alright too. Gabriel, you don't need to come down here and say anything to anybody. We good.
Unless you were always going to come down here and say something to somebody. I'm here for it.
We're good.
But please understand that I am a person who likes to ask questions.
Gabriel doesn't like that.
So do not, you see, then maybe not Gabriel. I would need somebody
Gabriel
else
doesn't like that.
Who's okay with questions, because I always have questions.
Yikes.
Like, I would be like, okay, well, thank you for letting me know that message. Okay, can we just do 2-minute questions?
No.
What?
Gabriel would say no. No. Keep talking. I'm going to take your whole voice away. But I'm leaving you with a blessing. Goodbye. That's Gabriel for you.
So maybe not Gabriel. Maybe another one with a little bit more patience and understanding over, human curiosity.
But you know what, Rosie? At this moment in time in the Bible, right? Jesus has not come down to become a human. So we can also sort of forgive this not understanding, like it's like a cultural thing, like
yes.
angel to human.
Yes.
So they don't understand yet. Gabriel isn't like getting like, yo,
like we're little humans.
We ask questions. Maybe angels are like soldiers and they're like, got it.
God said this. Done it. Message. But yes.
Humans were like, what? How? Why? When? Where? Mm-hmm. So then after this, so this is the part where John the Baptist is being born. Then Jesus is going to be born. And once Jesus is born, lives his life for 30 whatever years, goes back up to heaven after being martyred.
Explains to them.
Then maybe he had a staff meeting there.
And he called a staff meeting.
Okay, guys. These humans, there's a lot of emotions in being a human. There's a lot of different things. Questions. You know what's right. Sometimes you want to do the opposite. And then maybe the angels were taking notes. And Gabriel said,
take all the notes.
This starts to make sense now.
I thought they were just stupid.
Now this is making sense. So we can forgive that. Because maybe after Jesus went up and like explained. And they also saw Jesus. And maybe they were like, why is Jesus feeling afraid or something right before he's going to die? Like, God said you need to do that. So just do it. So maybe once they saw, like, even, God's own Jesus. Son, Jesus the Christ, when there was acting like a human, maybe they also, like, had their staff meeting. What is that? Sensitivity training. Human sensitivity training.
Yep. When you say do not be afraid, they're more scared.
Gabriel needed to talk to HR.
Not to be fired.
Not to be fired.
Just a retraining.
A sensitivity training.
Exactly.
A cultural sensitivity training. But yeah, so that's all I got about this story. I wouldn't say I enjoyed it still, but it's definitely intriguing. Definitely just because I was freaked out about it.
Of course.
But now that we've talked it through, I can understand where Gabriel's coming from. All right, so thank you for watching this episode of Lit Bible Study. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Be blessed.